Alright guys, hope you're all keeping well and staying safe. I'm a little bit sleep deprived after spending about 13 hours straight yesterday on the summit. Video soon coming on my review of that. Today I've got my weekly State of the Game recap video. This is a very light one guys, so it's a little bit shorter than usual. We did get to see a sneak peek at some of the new apparel and it does look amazing. The mask looks amazing, if it is included, and you'll see what I mean by that when we go through the notes here, along with the season 3 trailer and good news on some bug fixes as well. As usual, if you want to support me, the best way is by watching the video until the end. YouTube loves watch time and average view duration. You can also like, comment, subscribe and all of that kind of good stuff. But with that said, let's get into this one. Alright, so today we had Hamish, Trick and Johan. I'm going to go down my bullet points here guys and just go through everything. Again, there isn't a lot here and there will be quite a lot of stuff in here which isn't actually me, and I wanted to include stuff on stream, but we'll just go through everything and I'm sure you guys can pick out what is useful to you and what is not. But the maintenance yesterday, of course, for title update 11, and the first thing they wanted to address, and Johan addressed this, is what are the issues that they've seen in the community following that update, and just general issues in terms of bugs and stuff. So what Johan said was there was a lot of activity yesterday, and with that came a lot of bug reports, which is good news that there was a lot of bug reports. Obviously, it's not good news that there's a lot of bugs, of course. 2 fixes are coming tomorrow in an unscheduled maintenance. Ridway chest progression is not working properly. It's not updating apparently. So that's going to be fixed tomorrow. And the stranded tanker progression blocker fix is coming tomorrow as well, which is good news because a couple of people have reached out to me on Twitter about this one, this progression blocker. Apparently it's been there for a long time, not just from TU11. I don't know too much about that. I don't play stranded tanker ever, really, but that is going to be fixed tomorrow, so that's really good news. The manhunt video as well, I've seen reports of this where it's just repeating itself and people can't get past it. That again is a top priority, but that's not going to be fixed tomorrow, and they're hoping to fix that as soon as possible. Other things that are being fixed as well, issue that would cause mods to change from TU10 to TU11. So this should restore the mods. I don't think it was working for some people. Issue with the mega map not showing control points for the manhunt, so you can't tell which control points are needed. And there's loads of other issues that need to be fixed as well. The Shade Watch bug is being worked on as well. And for me personally, this is probably the buggiest that it's been. For me personally, this is the buggiest been by a mile, and I'll cover this in my review. I played for 13 hours yesterday and I must have had in excess of about 20 deltas. The other people on my team, none of them got it, so it might have been on my end, but I've never had that before. So yeah, hopefully they get these bugs fixed as soon as possible. Then we'll talk about a free weekend coming up tomorrow. The preload is available now. It starts at 5 p.m. CEST and runs until September 28th. There's also a sale on the game, the base game with Warlords. It's 67% off. They didn't say how much it was. And if you just want to buy the Warlords DLC, I believe that's 50% off as well. Not as well, separately. They confirmed that Twitch drops are available now. Of course, they included this image of the Twitch drops, and they run until October 10th, and they apply to anyone in the Division directory. So for 30 minutes, you get the legacy caches, and then for an hour, you get the what you can see on screen, which looks to be a milkshake. Moving on, they wanted to stress that there are going to be a lot of improvements coming with Summit. With TU 11.1, there's more details coming soon on those changes, and they did say that they talked about a few of those last week, but they said that they'll have more details on that in about a month. So I presume that TU 11.1 is going to come out in about a month's time, so we'll probably hear more about that soon, and there needs to be a lot of changes, I'll say that for sure. Moved on to talk about Season 3 then with Bard and Schaefer. They showed this trailer here, guys, which I'll quickly play for you, which is the Season 3 trailer.
Change of plans. The Division's bound to come knocking.
That's perfect.
Now, after showing this trailer, they briefly went back over the trailer because Hamish wanted to quickly just take a screenshot of new apparel, which I believe they showed in the trailer, but we haven't been able to. They didn't have any official kind of. Normally they show the official kind of apparel stuff in the lead up to the event, but they didn't have that this time because I think they'll probably do that in a future state of the game. So they just wanted to briefly take this screenshot, and don't get me wrong, guys, if this is the apparel we're getting with that mask and stuff, this is going to be the best apparel event by far. So let's hope, fingers crossed, this is exactly what we're getting. They then showed this Season 3 infographic just breaking down what's coming for Season 3 and when it's coming. As you can see, it ends early December, so I expect the new codename Nightmare Activity to come out shortly after that, maybe a couple of weeks. It might even be into January, we don't know at this point. They then went on to show the new global event SHD Exposed, and I'm going to include it here for you guys because it's fairly lengthy, and I'll let the devs explain it to you guys.
So you saw that shockwave come out from the player there. And so what that was is they just did a cover-to-cover move while they were fully exposed. So you're seeing that right down below in their list of icons, you can see this ever-growing, threatening magenta buff that is filling up. It is also being signaled on their arm there. That is their exposure. And when you move inside of line of sight of enemies, or if just enemies are just aware of you in general, it will build up, but it will build up faster the faster you are moving. And that is an incoming damage debuff, essentially. So it is very dangerous to do that. However, you'll notice that this person is just killing fools. That is because you can either punch an enemy to transfer all of your exposure to them, or if your exposure is maxed and you're taking the maxed damage penalty that you could be getting in this event, if you do a cover-to-cover move, you will pulse out, and everyone hit by that pulse will gain full exposure. But also, every time an enemy dies, they will transfer their stacks to all of the enemies around them. So that's not going to be adding up, but rather it's like, oh, if they receive new stacks, which is higher, the one that's on them currently or the one that they just received, and they get the higher of the two. Okay. And so what you do is like you have to essentially expose yourself. You have to run around in the open in general in order to build up exposure the fastest, or you could slowly do it by just hiding behind a rock. But the quickest, most efficient way to go through it is to put yourself out in out of cover, run if possible, and then once it's maxed out, do a cover to cover, punch someone in the face, and just watch the chaos ensue.
That's cool.
It's super good.
I have some more footage over here. Chat, if you have any questions about any of the intricacies of this event, just let us know. That was what you were already addressed it. I had the question before: if you kill an enemy, does it transfer or is it additive to their stacks? And you said it overwrites with their. If it's more, it'll give them a higher value, right?
Yeah, correct. And that's the same when you punch them. When you punch them, it's always going to transfer your stacks. Mm-hmm. But if they already had more stacks on them, then it's just going to clear your own stacks. One of the weird things is that. Red bar enemies, the normal enemy type, who I don't think we have an official term for other than normal, they will retain their stacks for a really long time, and veterans will slowly lose their stacks, and then elites will lose them very quickly, and named enemies will lose them even quicker than that. So it kind of puts you inside of a circumstance where against named enemies you're kind of dueling, trying to get the stacks to build up on yourself so that you can transfer them to an enemy or to them or do a cover to cover, and then laying into the named enemies with as much damage as you can because they're going to clear their stacks pretty quickly. But when it comes to like a red bar enemy, you can be a little less rushed about it, but also you do way more damage to a fully exposed red bar than you do to a fully exposed named as well. Okay. The named enemies are in fact tuned identical to the damage you would be taking in. They are treated like a player is.
So following that, they went on to talk about the how the global events have been improved. I covered this in my TU11 patch notes quite simply. They've been made so that you are going to be far stronger with the global events now compared to before. They've pretty much removed anything that would kind of mitigate you. They've removed and they've just buffed you, which is great because I think that's how global events worked in the Division 1. They kind of rewarded you for doing good stuff, whereas in the Division 2 they didn't reward you. It was actually a detriment to do good stuff. So they've kind of made them better in that way. But as I've said before, you know, whilst this is good, it's a bit too late, because this will be the third time we have to play the same global events with the same rewards, apart from the one new one, which is SHD Exposed. But that's it really, guys. That was it for today's State of the Game. It's a short one. I will be posting a video soon on how I beat level 100 of the summit, along with a sum up review and feedback video, and also I've got a Title Update 11 review video as well that I'm working on a script for. So a couple of videos coming up if you want to make sure that you're, you know, staying tuned for the latest kind of news for the Division, or just general reviews and updates and all that sort of stuff. Then just make sure you subscribe, and that way you won't miss those videos. Although saying that, you do have to turn notifications on, otherwise you may miss them. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and until the next one, Epic out.